and welcome to your graduation ceremony. I get so excited when I get to do F&B groups and groups of bankers. I was always told that bankers can be a bit boring, but I've decided since I've come to Vinci and I've engaged that bankers are actually really exciting people because I have the best time with the banker graduation groups. And today you represent various facets of your organization in different areas. My name is Dr. Marla Koonin. I'm the Executive Dean for Strategy and Stakeholder Management here at the Vinci Institute. But today I'm indeed honored and privileged to be your Program Director for this momentous occasion. Those of you that have joined online, I see many people have joined online, all the names scrolling down the side there on the screen. We welcome you as part of our graduation ceremony, and we want to tell all of you sitting here, so whoever's online, basically it's as if they filled in the row behind you. So when you dance, sing and ululate up here on the stage, and I expect you guys to be very celebratory, because your colleagues that came before you were very celebratory, I expect even better. So everybody will see exactly as the people sitting in the audience see. So welcome to your graduation ceremony, and most importantly, welcome to a celebration of each and every one of you today. Please rise as the academic procession comes through. Seated. So you are indeed the honored guests here today, but I would like to introduce you to the procession that sits on the stage, as well as acknowledge many people that have joined us online. Today in hybrid events, we have multiple and more people online than we do in real life. I can see many of you are getting very excited, so I'm going to start on this side with our representative of Senate, Mr. Mark Fuller. Senate is our highest academic decision-making body in an academic institution. The chair of Senate is actually here today, but is representing council. So Mark Fuller, who many of you know and has lectured many of you, is our faculty representative for Senate, who will officially open this graduation ceremony. I cannot make any mistakes because alongside him is the Honourable Dr. Daniel Rampai, the Integrity Commissioner of the City of Johannesburg. He is an esteemed doctoral alumnus, but he has also just been acknowledged for a second term, which for those of you who know how integrity commissioners work, it is very rare to go uncontested to a second term of office. He's a man of ethics and integrity beyond repair, and he is an amazing human being, which is your guest speaker today, Dr. Daniel Rampai. Next to him is Dr. Franzel de Ploy-Cilliers, who's actually the chairperson of Senate, but she's representing council. Council is where we have industry representatives from external to the institution, and they give guidance in terms of ensuring that the institution remains strategically aligned to industry, and Senate. The chair of Senate sits on that council to be able to infuse that into the teaching and learning. So that is Dr. de Ploy-Cilliers, and alongside her is Louise Fuller, who is our registrar of the Da Vinci Institute and the person who will be capping you today. So before I continue with the proceedings, I would like to ask Mark Fuller, as the Senate representative, to formally open this gathering as a congregated gathering and a lawful gathering of the Da Vinci Institute for Technology Management. Mark, please come up.
Thank you. So by the power vested in me, as a member of the Da Vinci Institute Senate, I hereby constitute this congregation as a lawful gathering of the Da Vinci Institute.
Thank you, Mark. So we are officially able to begin our proceedings this morning. And so I would like to just once again acknowledge you as our individuals, Dr. Daniel Rampai, Dr. Franzel de Ploy-Celiers, members of Senate, members of Council, members of faculty that have joined us online, the CEO of the Da Vinci Institute, who is standing behind you all and watching, Professor Harbia Klopper, who always comes to welcome the graduates. There he is waving. He's in person, just in case you were wondering. So that is Professor Harbia Klopper that stands there. I would like to acknowledge Bernadine Alexander, Stephen Barnard, and Corin Verster, who are our industry partners, who will come up and congratulate you. Many of you know them. So they are here to congratulate you, and we thank them for the contributions that they make. Because if industry did not invest in students, and if organizations did not see the value of investing, none of us would be here today. And so to you, Bernadine, I know you're on the side there, and to you, Stephen, when you come up, I want to acknowledge the amount of commitment that you make, as we said earlier today, to the students and the way that you invest in the students and the fact that you really care. And Stephen and I were speaking earlier and he was saying, well, I can actually see how we can implement some of these projects. So you're all excited because I know Mark Fuller works on your research projects with you, but we acknowledge in the Bachelor of Commerce graduation the research topics that you've engaged with. Dr. Rampai, for example, many of you know I often use him as an example. He wrote his doctoral thesis on what an integrity commissioner should do, how an integrity commissioner should act, and basically the job description of running the Integrity Commission office. So we always joke with him that he actually wrote his own job description and has implemented his own job description, and he's been recognized by members of Parliament for his contribution in his doctoral research for integrity commissioners and the way the job should work. So that is an example of a doctoral thesis that has return on investment and social return on investment, and to be an unconstituted speaker, a second term of office in environments that you know can be very politically charged, shows just how much integrity our integrity commissioner has. And that may sound quite paradoxical, but in a country where we struggle with areas around corruption and fraud, etc., it is beautiful to see that there's somebody leading us in the ways of integrity. He is a man of honor with the highest esteem, and yes, I know it sounds like I wax lyrical, but I have met him on many occasions and been privileged to be part of many discussions in which he is operating. And I think there's no question in my mind that the contribution he makes to this country is immense indeed. Dr. Rampai believes that as Integrity Commissioner, he has a critical role to play ensuring that Council as a collective and councillors individually fulfill their governance roles. And he speaks a lot about ethics in governance and the governance of ethics, like we would speak about business of education, education of business, to ensure for him that municipalities reach their constitutional objectives and they give and serve people. So when you speak of a servant leader who puts service above self, there is no better example than your guest speaker today, Dr. Daniel Rampai. But the thing that I always feel about him is the way that he celebrates synergized accomplishments, which, as you know, in the TIPS managerial leadership framework, it makes someone really agile. I have never met a more humble man in my entire life. And he is somebody who treats people with a measure of a measure of respect that is so incredible that you often think you're sitting in the room with somebody that is just making everyday decisions and not actually impacting the community in which he does. I always say to him that he almost seems surprised when he gets a compliment, as if he is just, why would you be saying this about me? So Dr. Rampai, the reason I use you as an example is because you're an example of what somebody who is agile, aligned and engaged as a managerial leader should look like. And if our country was led by more leaders like you, I have no doubt it would be a better place to exist and live in. So I would like to welcome you to the graduation, and we look forward to you coming up now and delivering your keynote address to our students today.
Yes, my voice is clear. And I was gossiping in her ear right now because I just know her to be the beautiful, intelligent, warm, and compassionate person. And I'm sure you know what her name is. I'm not going to embarrass myself because I don't want to even mention her name. That's how close I am with her, that a name does not mean anything to me, but what I feel when I am in her presence. But I just want to acknowledge Professor Klopper and this beautiful procession and all protocol observed. And indeed, my name is Study Daniel Rampai. And of course, I've always been one who is humble simply because I have put God before me. And this is the lesson that I want to share with you right now, that you need to put God first in everything that you do. And as I did it, God directed me, protected me, and corrected me. He led me because I allowed him to lead me. Because I still believe that I could not have been standing here had it not been for him. If I am to share something that is very fascinating is, I used to be an alcoholic. But my mom said, my son, there's something that I would like you to take before I die. I want you to keep on educating yourself, learning and refining yourself. You know why? Because you'll never ever be a stranger at any place with anyone. Because with education, you're going to be confident enough to share your experiences, whether it is with the president or any person who is low as a sweeper. But get education. Then I said to myself, let me try this education that my mom is talking about. And indeed I did. And as I stand here, I have 5 degrees. And PhD is the ultimate, penultimate one. And I'm still thinking whether I do have to do another PhD. I'm a lawyer by profession, yeah. I have 2 law degrees, I have 2 master's degrees, I have PhD. And all these things I did not because I was smart. I did all these things because I believed. I remembered every day and reminded myself about what my mom said. And my mom said, my son, there's absolutely nothing that you can't do in this world, provided, of course, you believe. As your mother, I can see the potential to be somebody that you never thought you would be. And I wish that my mom was here, because when my mom passed, I was still an alcoholic while she was saying all these things. But guess what? I had 2 degrees then, and while I was studying, I studied without any direction. You know, doing all these things because I had the brains for it, but I did not have the direction for it. Now, when my mom passed, I had only 2 degrees. But I remembered how much she loved education. Then I acquired 3 degrees. May I say, my PhD was the only degree I graduated sober. The rest I graduated drunk. But I'm not saying you should be drunk so that you can have 4 degrees. But all that I'm saying is, I have been saved. God knew exactly why I had to go through what I went through so that I can do what I'm doing today. Who am I? Dan Rampai from a poor family. Dan Rampai was raised by a domestic and a truck driver to be the integrity commissioner. And should I add, the only integrity commissioner in the whole of South Africa. That's me. And there's only been one motivation only. And apart from my mom was so smart that today I can even reconcile what she said with what Maya Angelou said. Maya Angelou said, you can only, and I stress, you can only be truly accomplished in something that you love. Don't make money your goal. Rather, pursue the things you love. And when you do them in such a way that God will never take his eyes off you. Because education is a good thing, and God loves good things, and God in his very nature is for me. So who can be against me? Now that you are educated to have all these qualifications, now that you are trained, the question is, what is it that you are going to do with what you have? There's a song that I used to sing. Now that you found love, what are you going to do with it? Now that you have this qualification, what is it that you are going to do with it? But I was smart enough to know that whatever it is that God has blessed me with, it is not going to be about me, but it is going to be about the people. And I'm so huge to a point where I'm saying, it is not even about the people, it is about the country that I'm living in. I stand here today knowing that I am going to make a difference, not in the lives of people, but in the lives of the people of this country. If there is any legacy that I am going to leave, it should be a legacy of change. But there's no way that I could have made it this far. But for one person who's very important in my life, and unfortunately, my beautiful Mapula is not around. Married for 20 years. 20 years of forgiveness, 20 years of sacrifice, 20 years of support, 20 years of love, unwavering love, 20 years of walking with me. She taught me faith. She taught me spirituality. And I'm standing here today because I'm married to someone who is very, very supportive. Now, what is it that you are going to lean yourself against? Or who is the person that you are always going to lean on to support you? Because one can only imagine what you have is just a taste of bigger things that you can do, bigger things that you can create. And let us be appreciative of the fact that where you're sitting right now is not enough. There's more that you can do. You have dreams, you have goals, but those dreams and goals are nothing unless, of course, you have commitment. And without commitment, you'll never, ever have discipline. Without discipline, we'll never, ever be consistent. And for you to be consistent, you need the support of people around you. And I want to leave you with one quote by Nelson Mandela. And he said, passion cannot be derived in something that is not big. Begin to think about the life that is big, not less, because you have been created to do bigger and greater things. And assuming that you haven't done anything in your life bigger for people to even begin to take notice, take comfort in one thing, that see yourself as an artist facing a pure white canvas upon which the first stroke of the painting is yet to be made. So don't muddy the painting, the canvas that you have. Write your own story, the story that comes from your heart, the story that you will reconcile yourself with, without paying attention to what the world says. And right now is a new chapter, like a barren hilltop where no plow has disturbed the soil. Chart new territories because you have the power to do so. And if there's anybody who's going to motivate you, nobody will. I learned one thing, that for me to make a difference is when people begin to appreciate what I am doing. And I can only be good at what I do, provided, of course, I'm passionate with it. So identify one thing that you are good at, identify one thing that you are passionate about, and do it well. As somebody who's still interested in learning, somebody who's still interested in refining himself, I am saying to you, if you don't do it, then somebody's going to do it. And people are going to talk about the things that you are supposed to talk about. And you are just going to listen when you are supposed to be the person influencing and bringing change in this world. So you are standing there and sitting there as people who are supposed to and will bring change. And I always say, where I am is not where I'm going, because I know the future is beckoning. The country needs you. What are you going to do, given what we are facing as a country? I'm working in a very, very chaotic environment where politicians are installed and removed, where politicians are complaining about other politicians, and they are referred to me for investigation. How do you think I write reports that are going to be acceptable to everyone, that cannot even be challenged in court? It is because I've learned my craft. I've bettered myself in the things that are passionate to me. So now, as I leave the podium, begin to appreciate who you are and what you can do. And what can lead you to where you want to be is when you have a goal. That goal should be something that keeps on attracting you until you reach it. And when you exit this world, people will continue to talk about you. I don't want to quote Mandela all the time. I want people to quote me when I'm gone as well. Thank you.
So I'm seldom rendered speechless, and I'm sure you can agree when I told you that Dr. Rampai is inspirational, did I tell you the truth? Okay, so I think that one of the really important messages, Dr. Rampai, that I got out of your speech, besides the fact that you can overcome any challenges and adversity as long as you have a solid grounding and something that you hold on to deeply. And one of those important aspects is when we look at education, we say there's 3 pillars to make something a higher education institution. It is teaching and learning, it is research output, and it is community engagement. Dr. Rampai today challenged you to say, what will your pillars of support be? Those are the pillars of support that we have given you as a higher education institution where you're able to engage with social return on investment and return on investment through community engagement, where you are able to have a deep and embedded understanding of research principles and practices and how much research shifts the environment and the world. And then on the other hand, it is about the engagement of teaching and learning that happens within the environment. So I hope that those pillars you choose, whether it is love, as Dr. Rampai said, faith and family, whether it is principles like integrity, ethics, etc., whatever those pillars are, I hope that they are pillars that have value to you and things that you value. We don't only have to have 3 pillars. We can have 6, 7, 8 pillars that help to hold us up. But they must be true to you as a person, to your beliefs, and to the value system that is important to you. But I hope that whatever pillar you choose, the outcome of that pillar leads to you co-creating and sustaining humane societies and contributing to socio-economic empowerment of those within your surrounding communities. Because it is one thing for us to be economic enablers. It is something far deeper to be a socio-economic enabler, where you do make things better economically for people, but you also impact society. And that is the last point that I wanted to raise related to Dr. Rampai's address, and that is we should all be able to make change that is possible and change that is probable for ourselves, but also for those whose environments we influence. Your energy is what will bring about change. So congratulations to you and to your families today. And Dr. Rampai, thank you for your time and for your knowledge and depth. It is much appreciated. So I know it's time now for the most exciting part, and that is where I request Senate to have permission to graduate you. But I learned from this morning that the poor person who goes first doesn't always get to have the moment. So Cindy, I know it's you, and you got squashed to the side. I saw Betty frantically trying to move you. So I don't know why you squashed over, because I can see you squished in the background. You can move seats over, because if I say your name and it's not you, you'll just say, you know, I'm not Wendy, I'm Cindy. But Cindy, although you go first, I decided this morning the person who went first, she had to stand and show everyone, and I could see it was a bit awkward, so I will be the guinea pig today, because we do as we practice. So what is going to happen is I will say, Cindy, and then you will come up and you will look at the audience. I know that for some of you this feels awkward, but you know that Da Vinci, we disrupt things and we make things to be a little bit uncomfortable so that you can learn to love self and other. So all those names that are running down there, yes, they are seeing you. Hello, we see you all. So you're not only looking at the people here, you're looking at everyone. Then I'm going to say your name, I'm going to announce your project title, because we want to acknowledge your research contribution. I started speaking to people then, but I could see they were shifting on their feet. So I'm going to make Gift's life easier. Dr. Rampai, do you mind standing here for a moment? And Mark. So the Senate member and Dr. Rampai will be in your photos. We will smile. You can put your arm. No, that was terrible. Take it away. You see, you're allowed to say that because it's a small graduation ceremony. Thanks, Dr. Rampai. I'll call you up formally now. And then we've got 3 handshakers, and this is where it's a little bit complicated to Gift. I'm going to ask you, I don't want to do the squishy squashy from earlier. So we're going to ask our 3 handshakers who are representing industry to stand here, and we'll take one photo of you shaking hands with Stephen or with Corin or whoever you're shaking hands with, because we want a photo with you with your industry representation. You will then go on to Louise, and Louise will cap you, and at that moment you are officially graduated. And I will then speak to you, and you will stay there for a moment. You'll smile at Gift first, and then whoever's shouting and waving for you or taking photos online, you'll turn and face them and say, hello, I have arrived. Okay, so that is my mode 2 for you today. And so I would now like to officially request Senate's approval because I cannot interrupt proceedings once we begin. So I would like to, Senate member, request that I can confer the qualification Bachelor of Commerce in Business Management on the candidates I present to you this afternoon. Thank you for granting me permission. I would now like to call up Stephen Barnard and Bernadine Alexander and Corin Verster, who are representing First National Bank Home Loans and our associate faculty in the banking, which is Cornerstone. So I think it'll be easier if you stand front. I will stay seated and Dr. Rampai won't be in his seat. So you can stand in front of Dr. Rampai for now. Thanks. So that's perfect. Gift, is that okay for you if they stand there, or do you need Stephen to move forward? So the idea will be, guys, that you'll have a photo with our Senate representative and Dr. Rampai here. Then you'll have a photo shaking hands with the industry. And then your photo, so these are your 2 formal photos. That one you will stand alone as Louise caps you. So Stephen, we'll just make sure that half your arm isn't in their photo. No, Gift will have to tell me if that's the case. So I would now like to ask Dr. Rampai to please stand just over there, and Mark Fuller to stand as we welcome the students up one by one, and we acknowledge you and your achievements. So you are definitely up now, Cindy. So the students that I am presenting to you can stand here, Cindy. The students that I'm presenting to you have completed electives in Financial Services Management. They are graduating with their Bachelor of Commerce in Business Management. The first candidate I present to you today is Cindy Romy Abrams. Congratulations. Cindy's project title, An Exploration of the Impact of Getting Call Center Staff to Thrive on Morale, Productivity and Service Levels. You may step forward, Cindy. I'm going to not talk to you until you get to the end because then I distract people. So Cindy looks beautiful today. She stands here. So you are pointing, Mark, but you also need to be near the crosses. So Cindy, please have a look. And you are still the first person. Gift, did she do well? So Cindy, you've done very well. So then Dr. Rampai will step back, and then you'll go to the industry people. Cindy, as you move over and you carry on walking and not looking at me, and you shake hands with the industry representatives, I want you to feel proud that you are standing here today and you are receiving your qualification. As you turn round and get capped by Louise, I want to say to the Abrams family, congratulations, and I hope that you are indeed proud of Cindy's achievements today. However, no, Cindy, no. I comment on everyone's bachelor's research. I said doctorate accidentally because some of your research for me feels like a doctorate. Dr. Rampai, you can tell me what you think these topics, some of them, at BCom level. So when you spoke about an exploration and the impact of getting staff to thrive, for me, the areas that were fascinating was you spoke about morale and productivity, etc., which are all connected to organizational culture. But I think something that really hit home with me was the way that if you look at being engaged, there's one area which I haven't seen in other people's studies, and that is self-reflection. So probing reflective practices in the TIPS Managerial Leadership Framework speaks about that organizations are able to get people to self-reflect on where they are productive, not productive, how to increase their morale. So for really engaging in this space, I want to congratulate you for being an engaged leader and looking at how to probe reflective practices in your organization. It is key to having a really good management of people environment. So congratulations. So Cindy was your example. So you see, that's what happens when you come late to the party, Cindy. You get to be the example. Now, I'm just teasing you. So that is how each of you will come up now. And Cindy got to spend a little bit of time on here, but you will all spend your same amount of time, except I hope I don't have to instruct your photos. Okay. So, Rahim. Oh, you're standing right here. I was looking over there, and I'm thinking, there was someone sitting next to Cindy. So, Rahim, I'd like to congratulate and introduce to you. Someone is trying to take a photo, Rahim, and you're not looking over there. Rahim Albertain, I introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, Rahim's project title, An Exploration of the Effect of Digitizing Client Feedback on Customer Service. We congratulate you, Rahim, and the Albertain family. You may step forward. See, Gift, I've learned to keep quiet until they get to the end so that I don't disrupt proceedings for you. So, Rahim, as you take the stage, I say to the Albertain family, please be proud, because he has certainly rooted himself in his history and he has grown wings along with that. But Rahim, you are not allowed to move because I have to comment on your project title. You can see the shy leaders who like to run away from me. So you spoke about an important area here when you spoke about digitizing client feedback and customer service, because it is the management of technology and the management of people. Now, if you remember the TIPS framework, that is about being aligned. And when you look at areas of alignment, it's things like co-creating direction and meaning. And those are the competencies that you need to have if you really want to align technology and people. And I really respected the fact that you were able to look at how the organization can co-create direction to have that brought into the system, because you're actually looking at efficiency. You want to know how client feedback can be digitized so it can be quicker used, it can be evident. So people that are now knowing that you are going to be utilizing that, it's not a place where people are comfortable. So I loved the fact that you spoke about people needing to understand the meaning of this. And that's why I say to you that the two competencies for me that you've looked at is co-creating direction and co-creating meaning. And so for doing this for your organization, I congratulate you and to your entire family. Well done. So there, you can dance for me, celebrate. Are you? Oh, I thought you were standing there to dance, wave, hello, ululate, I don't know, something, guys. Congratulations. Ronaldo. That's me. Yeah, I'm so happy, because when Rahim was there, I thought, I'm sure that this is the topic that I looked at, remote working. I mean, I could see by your pants that you were doing remote working. Exactly. I mean, definitely. And where are your slippers? Oh, I thought so. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is longer than his project title, so he's got the name of a president. So we say, Ronaldo, Roosh Stanley Delaray, congratulations. As Ronaldo stands before you, his project title is an exploration of the effect of remote working on productivity. I know that many people have done this specific topic because it is an area that is really important, and people are looking at things like mental health and areas such as that. But what I really appreciated about your study was the way in which you looked at celebrating synergized accomplishments. So the aspect of that in TIPS is about agility, because it is about managing technology and managing innovation. And one of the areas that I thought was interesting on how you tried to say that people need to be celebrated and people need to be understood, and work environments need to understand the people they're dealing with in order to keep teams connected in remote environments. So one of the things I enjoyed about that, besides the stuff connected to mental health and engagement and facilitating conversations, was the fact that celebrating synergized accomplishments means we celebrate one another. And even if we are disconnected by digital, we're still able to celebrate those accomplishments as an institution and bring about organizational culture that is maybe remote, but is not remote from one another. So your understanding of people and now seeing your personality, that's why I said when I read your topic, because remember I read sometimes blind in terms of I read them, but I don't see the faces that Mark Fuller does. And on the day of graduation, I often change what I'm going to say because I get so excited that I'm able to actually see the person and say, I can now see you are a man of the people. So I congratulate you today on your contribution to the management of people. So the reason that I put you in terms of, I put Ronaldo in agility, which you guys will know is not actually connected to people, is because although his study was connected to people, there was a definite sense of agility where one of the competencies for agility is to celebrate synergized accomplishments, and it's connected to innovation. So to you, Ronaldo, to the Delaray family, as Ronaldo is capped today, I hope you find pride and extreme joy in what he's achieved. It is no easy feat. Congratulations. You see, I waited for that, for you to look at your pillar. That's your pillar Dr. Umpire spoke about. So yes, I see your pillar. Thank you for being his pillar. Right, so Zahir, thank you, because earlier they said Zahir is coming, and I was like, please tell me. So yes, when I saw you, I thought, have you already arrived? Are you here? So I'm glad you are here. So I hear before if people are going to be late, etc. That's why I knew Cindy were on your way, and I knew you were Cindy. That's why I saw Betty kind of moving you along. So ladies and gentlemen, standing before you today is Zahir Ibrahim. Zahir's project title, An Exploration of the Effects of the Treating Customers Fairly, which I learned was TCF, which I like that abbreviation, Home Loan Solution on the Customer Experience. Today, Zahir, as you go up, we congratulate you and the Ibrahim family. And as you say, walk across, I will be told to wait to speak to you, otherwise you won't get across. Okay. So, Zahir, as you go across, I say to the Ibrahim family, be proud as Zahir stands and smiles, because the memories made today come from a lifetime of hard work. And that is not only Zahir's hard work, but the whole Ibrahim family. See, you looked at me when I spoke, and now the photographer gave me a look. That's why I can't speak. So there was something very special about Ibrahim's study, and it was the abbreviation of the TCF and Treating Customers Fairly. People are investing their life savings when they take a home loan, and at times they're taking debt that they are terrified of. And the fact that you, Ibrahim, that you looked, Zahir, at treating people fairly, for me was such a beautiful way to show social and emotional intelligence. It is such a critical aspect of who we are as human beings to understand cross-cultural engagements. You are dealing with people at times who were told that the banks would steal their money, and Dr. Rampai can attest. People, we saw in one of our doctoral studies who looked at stokvels, people are still hiding money under mattresses, masses of amounts of money, because they are terrified what the banks will do with their life savings. So to treat customers fairly when they are taking out sometimes their first home loans, massive loans, and to look at something like this is so deeply socially and emotionally intelligent from you, but it requires that of your team, which means you really have to create teams that understand cross-cultural engagement. You have teams that understand this level of social and emotional intelligence, and it is quite an overwhelming thing to look at. And you showed that fairness in customer treatment is going to be critical to the home loan environment. And I really do salute you for that, because I don't think banks always take into account how terrifying it is for people to actually say, oh my word, I've now got this mass amount of money that I either don't own, as in it's my debt, or I've put all my life savings into something just for a deposit, and now is this safe? So congratulations for your empathy and compassion. Those are critical areas of a leader. To the Ibrahim family, I hope you are very proud. Janine. Oh, I was like, where have you disappeared to? I was looking at Chanel and going, that is not Janine. Ladies and gentlemen, I think she's being a little bit shy, so I'm going to tell you stand closer to me. I introduce you to Janine Jeanette Jackson. Congratulations. Project title, The Impact of Hybrid Working on Employee Well-Being. You may step forward as you go, Janine. I know sometimes it's the first time you've heard your second name in a long time, but I love the fact that you were J cubed. I mean, I think your parents are super cool to have made you J cubed, unless you got married and became Jackson. I thought so. So what is the family name that I must include with Jackson? Harim. Oh, Karim. So we say to the Jackson and the Karim families, and you are welcome if you're married and have changed your name, to add your other family name. So to the Karim and to the Jackson family, we congratulate you on Janine's achievement. But Janine, before you run away from me, you looked at something really important in terms of, I know you think, people ask me if I have notes, so I can show you I have no notes. I re-look at the title because it reminds me of the study that I've read. So the hybrid working on employee well-being was an interesting study for me because many people wanted to push the idea of staying home. But hybrid working is actually what the reality is. Work from home as a principle of never going to the office. Not many employers have gone to that. Some have said go back for good, but the hybrid model is actually the way of the future. And I think for me, the well-being side is always what we worry about. So most people in your organization looked at productivity, and I completely understand why, because it's an important part. But looking at the well-being shows me a deep sense of how the management of people should unfold at your organization. Because that, again, speaks to social and emotional intelligence, but it also speaks to something in terms of alignment, which is co-creating meaning. Because if you are able to get people to co-create meaning and to understand the importance of things like speaking out when you don't have a mental, when you have mental issues, having a mental wellness. I think you spoke about having mental wellness days and those type of aspects connected to it. But it doesn't matter which one it is about well-being. It's all about staying connected and staying engaged with one another. And that requires, you said, a meaning or meaningful engagement between the employer, the team leader, and those that are interconnecting. So you showed a synergistic way that this should be done, which means it's actually a systemic thinking model that you came up with, which is really actually quite sophisticated. So well done for that. And I know when I look at some of you, Shame, you can sit down if you want to, but I see your faces saying, like, does she actually know my study? So remember when I said to this team, the group that came before, sometimes you don't call it what I'm calling it because you break it into something else. So you will speak of a team leader, and I will speak about things like, so the synergized accomplishments. You will speak to teamwork and making sure that there's team engagement. In the TIPS framework, we speak of synergized accomplishments, which is celebrating people's accomplishments in a synergized way. So as you as the individual, as the group. So if I change the wording, it's because I want to put it in the context of how relevant this is when you look at the lenses and the frameworks of TIPS and managerial leadership frameworks, etc. So some of you I can see get it, and others are like, really? So, and someone said earlier, are those my words? And I said, no, it's my interpretation of your study because it's fascinating for me to see how your minds work and know TIPS so well. So congratulations to those that have graduated so far. But poor Chanel has been standing there. So I know have a stand over here, Chanel. Chanel, Jairam, I want to congratulate you today as you stand before us with the project title, The Impact of an Employee Development Program on Employee Retention Within a Banking Branch. Congratulations. To the Jairam family, I hope today you celebrate alongside Chanel and her amazing achievements. It is not easy being an adult learner with work commitments, family and home life commitments, and it takes an incredible amount of tenacity to be able to get to this point. So the area that Chanel looked at in terms of employee development programs and employee retention very much falls into two areas, which is talent management and the gap in skills that we have in our country. So in terms of this, I really felt that although you can apply it to TIPS, for me, Chanel, I can see, so you want to be smile, carry on smiling. For me, what I thought was fascinating was when you look at things through multiple lenses, which we call ecosystemic, so the environments, the micro, the meso, the extra, and the macro environments, it means that you're trying to see things holistically and you're trying to see how the different parts of the environments impact people. And I think that when you look at something like talent management and skills gaps, you have to understand the current situation of the country, the anxiety people are feeling about the political instability. You have to look at global trends. People have lost people during COVID. So coming from that perspective means that you've got a holistic understanding, and that will lead to better retention. Because if you understand what people are going through and you understand what people are feeling, you will connect far better with them. And that's what I want to say, that you looked at it ecosystemically because you looked at the environmental impact. And I speak there about micro, meso, macro, exo, etc. So the inner circle of tips. Next year I decided I'm going to put up the tips framework so that the audience at home, etc. can see it, because we all know it. But I really want to engage. So it is on our website, but I actually want to put a big picture of it up next time. So congratulations to you, Chanel. It really was beautiful to see that you looked at the whole picture and the whole approach to that. And I hope you get to keep lots of talent in your organization. To the Jerem family as well, congratulations. Motla no, see, I said I'm going to get this right. Motla Lepula. Where? You're not joining us online? Oh, why are you were after Chanel. Salmina? Are you standing there? Oh, so that's why I'm saying, is Motla Lepula not here? Oh, okay, sorry, I thought she was here already. Please come forward then, Salmina. I will let you stand here, but I'll graduate Motla Lepula in abstention. So before we go on to Salmina, I would like to say, and Motla Lepula, if you're online, I would like you to show up so that we can congratulate you in person. But to Motla Lepula, Lekua, I would like to say congratulations on behalf of the Senate and the Da Vinci Institute. Project title, The Impact of the Refund Process on Productivity and Customer Service. Productivity connected to customer service is a really important area because it is saying that if people work productively, so if people are operationally sound and they're doing processes in place, that they would be able to impact customer service because efficiency and productivity, etc., leads to it. But there's an important element missing if we don't look at it specifically, and that is about the fact that you've got to have quite a transdisciplinary understanding to get this right, because it requires people from different departments and divisions to actually work together collectively with their different skill sets to get it to work. So I thought you were going to be with us today, Motla Lepula, so I'm saying online to you, if you have joined us online, I can't see your face at the moment, but I would like to say to you and to the Lekua family, congratulations on looking at the transdisciplinarity within your institution and how you could better serve your customers in this regard. So congratulations. So, Salmina, I'm sorry you had to stand for a while and hide behind there, but now we stand to say to the Molantwa family, congratulations. To Salmina, we say you have arrived, so please smile and enjoy your moment. Your project title is, yes, dance, sing, be merry. Your project title is an exploration of customer relationship management factors that enhance performance. So, Salmina, as you step forward, I would like to say to the Molantwa family, congratulations on Salmina's remarkable achievement today. It is a day of pride that you should feel at what she has achieved. As you shake the industry speakers' hands, I hope you know the impact that you've had on industry. So, I looked at things connected to, yours was customer relationship management factors and enhancing performance. And you had me stumped for quite a while. Oh, Gift is not happy with me. Did Salmina look, Gift? Good. So it had me stumped for quite a while, and I'll tell you why, because it is about the management of people. I mean, I acknowledge that the word enhancing performance, etc., is connected to people and making sure. But when you connected it to customer relationship management, it was quite tricky for me to say, so how can I make the connection? And then I saw that you were trying to see how all the different sums of the parts could holistically make up something that was a synergistic process and would allow for the relationship, so relational management, to actually be better, stakeholder management, etc. And then I realized that this is like my favorite area, which is systems thinking, and I hadn't seen it straight in front of me, and Mark's laughing because he probably saw it 10 hours before me, but it is the reality that you looked at things systemically. And when you look at customer relationship management, it always speaks about the communication aspects, the people aspects. But looking at it systemically means you saying that even if that part succeeds, if the technology aspect fails, if the innovation aspect fails, if any other part of the system fails, the whole relationship management is failing. And the perfect example I can give you in a bank would be, I bank with X bank, and I won't mention what bank. I love my services with the bank. I have the best services. I've had to deal on a very another level with them, which is to do with, unfortunately, death and wills, etc., which is the time you really want them to have good customer relationship. Best service on this side, really problematic service on this side, where I'm actually with the ombudsman at the moment. So how does that happen in the same organization? And that is because people do not get, and it's not your organization, do not get systemic thinking when they look at it. So congratulations to you. So to the Molantwa family, I hope you know you have a systemic thinker in the home. So you better be careful, because she's going to get all the parts of what you're all doing and make you understand where you're going wrong as a whole family. Congratulations, Salmina. Yeah, Mark's laughing at me saying whole family, so the Molantwa family better watch out, Salmina. Kaveshni. So it's lovely to have Kaveshni stand before us. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Kaveshni Naika. Project title, An Exploration of How Top Talent Can Be Retained Through Succession Planning. So I know you're all going to think, you can step forward, Kaveshni, that I'm going to speak about the fact of talent management again and keeping people, but I'm actually not, because Kaveshni's study fascinated me because of the succession planning element. Because Kaveshni is actually saying that when we look at succession planning and when we look at talent management, we better be looking at transformation. And at the Vinci Institute, transformation for us is not only about race, it is about inclusivity. That means it is about female leadership, it is about people with disabilities, it's about cross-cultural succession planning. It is not about classifying us by the color of our skin, which is nothing in terms of who we are as people. Our cultures, what our physical form represents. It is who our culture is, what our culture is, where we come from, it's our roots, it is our gender, it is everything that makes you up, your faith, your family. So the inclusivity in that aspect that you said, that if we're going to retain top talent, we actually have to look at authentic succession planning, not just tick boxing and saying, well done, we'll put you on the succession plan. There is no way you're ever getting there. You looked at it by saying, if we want to transform an organization, it has to look at inclusivity beyond merely just saying, well, I'm going to put that person there and this person there because of X, Y, and Z. It's inclusive. So congratulations. That is a really ethical study. Well done. I hope to the Naika family you feel proud, because if we do not treat transformation as truly inclusive of every single person and what they represent, we are never going to transform our society in the way that it should be transformed. Because you are not just one thing. You are multiple things as a human being. You are made up of so many parts. So I say to you, and even Dr. Rampaya, your whole thing is your past does not define who you are, but the roots you got from your mother were critical to who you are. But your journey down alcoholism was not. It was a very big learning part. And those are all, that's what I'm trying to say. We are whole people. We should never just say, okay, well, I am this. You are so many facets. So it is beautiful to see inclusive transformation. Well done. So now, Leonard, please stand here. So, Leonard, I have to say that when I said Leonard Nell, I'm introducing to you, it's Leonard's project title, and I'll tell you why I reiterated your name, is an exploration of the reason behind customer complaints in a banking division dealing with home loans. So, Leonard, I want to say as you step forward that one of the difficult things about looking at complaints is you have to be a little bit of a maverick to be able to do things like customer complaints, risk. And I know that Dr. Rampai is probably going to say, but you also have to have integrity, etc., which you absolutely do. So, Leonard, your name is very close to our founding father, Leonardo da Vinci. And the thing about Leonardo is that he was a bit of a maverick. So Leonardo believed that people were a really important part of his journey as a polymath. He said that when he used to invent things, people think it was just all out of his head. He networked. He really engaged creative networks. And so I want to say to you that your name implies that you're a bit of a maverick and you've got sections of all those things that Leonardo has. So that means that when you look at things like customer complaints and you look at how to deal with them, that you are quite brave and a little bit of a maverick because you're looking at an area that people don't always want to address, but is critical. So the part of this that was interesting for me is that customer complaints is obviously part of people management. But one of the areas that I think is important in customer complaints is truth and authenticity. And one of the things you got across quite clearly was that if we are not going to, as an organization, authentically understand those customer complaints, so not just quickly put it on the register and move it along, you said we actually have to delve into it, we actually have to understand it. So you brought about a deep sense of meaning and understanding and thinking. And that is what being a true Leonardo da Vinci or a Da Vincian is. It is about being able to deconstruct and reconstruct theories, problems. So for the fact that you believe that your organization should deconstruct feedback and reconstruct it is really quite profound. So Leonardo. So I say to Leonard, Nell today, and the Nell family, you named him well. So Leonard, congratulations. Tembi, I introduced to you Tembi Pukubia, and I say to you today, project title, The Impact of Pricing on Mortgage Loan Uptake at a South African Bank. Tembi, as you step forward, I want to say that I congratulate you on looking at operationalized ideation, which is a really critical part, but you did something else when it came to agility, which is where operationalized ideation sits, and you looked specifically at probing problems instead of solving them. At Da Vinci, we say we create meaning and have understanding through problem probing rather than problem solving. So to the Pukubje family, to Tembi, and to everybody that is within your energy realm, we say congratulations to you, and we wish you a lot of success that lies ahead. Charlene, so I'm going to let you stand here because Vanessa's joining us online. So Vanessa Reinecker has joined us online. Vanessa, if you'd like to show yourself. Project title, The Impact of Working at Home on Employee Productivity. Vanessa, we congratulate you on your study that looked at how it made the connection between people and productivity and ensuring conversation was facilitated and that people were operating within teams in a cooperative way. Vanessa needs an extra round of applause as she received her qualification cum laude. The next candidate I present to you is Charlene Whitney Wendeline Vinar. Congratulations. So Charlene's project title is, I'm sure that's the first time you've heard your whole name in a long time. So Charlene's project title is an exploration of the relationship between productivity and customer complaints in the F&B deceased department. So you can step forward, Charlene. As you would have seen, this is an area that I think is critical because you're dealing with people that are dealing with the real amount of tragedy. And although it is an area that it is an area that requires the management of people as much as it does the processes. So when I say this, I say it's about agility and engagement. And I think it's really important to realize, Charlene, that you did see, I'm going to have to wait a moment, and now I'm going to be, so Sushi's going to be like, you're running late. So, Charlene, I want to say that the way that you were able to look at agility and engagement was really good because you operationalized ideation by saying this is what we have to do, but you cared about the people because deceased estates are something very sensitive. So your social and emotional intelligence mixed with agility was actually quite fascinating for me. So well done on that because I think it's fantastic. Well done. To the Vinci family, I hope you are proud and you stand proud today. And I would like to thank First National Bank for investing in the students. I'm going to ask you as representatives to stay up if you don't mind. The following students completed electives in banking. And so Agnes, you can come forward. Thank you. I hope you're going to dance, sing and be excited. Agnes Makwanazi, I introduced to you today. Project title, yes, continue Agnes. The impact of the pyramid system on customer service in F&B home loans. Congratulations. Agnes and the Makwanazi family, I hope that you are indeed proud because although Agnes looked at impact, she has certainly made an impact. And in terms of customer service, I think it's critical, Agnes, what you showed was that we should promote experimentation when it comes to customer service. You spoke about the fact that, you see, you're not going to be happy with me. You said that unless we, in the areas of tips, unless we probe problems and we promote experimentation, we are never really going to be agile. So I like the fact that you, and now that I see your personality, you see what I'm saying, promote experimentation is all about play. It's all about playing with things, seeing how they work. So do you see what I mean when the personality comes to the topic? Congratulations on promoting experimentation. Yes. So Mark's asking if I saw your multicolored fingernails, and I said, yes, they're the colors of remarkability. Lydia? Okay, so Lydia, I had to take a sip of water to get my click right, and I'm really struggling with a dry mouth. So I want to say to Lydia Marlo, see, I didn't get it right, and I did it so well earlier. Lydia Lindiwe Marlo, project title, An Exploration of Employees' Lack of Sufficient Knowledge in Using Digital Channels Optimally. Congratulations. I'm only going to speak to you at the end, Lydia. To Lydia's family and to Lydia, I want to say stand proud because as you climb that mountain, it's not easy. But today, Lydia gets to enjoy the view. And to your entire family, I want to say, as you stand proud today, know that the view that you see is collectively yours as well as those that gave you a route. Congratulations. Don't run off because your study was very critical because it looked at something important, which is technology and people. And it says that if you don't align people to co-create direction and co-create meaning, you will never get buy-in of your technology. And that's what you showed, that if people don't get the technology, there's no point in having the technology. So you co-created direction and co-created meaning, which are two of the most important competencies when it comes to alignment. So congratulations. And when my mouth is, then I'm going to say to the Marlo, see, I can't do it now, and I want to just say Kumalo, which is completely incorrect. So I'm going to maybe get Dr. Rampai to pronounce it properly for me, or Mark Fuller to pronounce it properly. My mouth is dry. I've been talking the whole time. So I want to hear some ululation from Lydia's family so that I can at least hear the family name shouted out loudly. Quiet? No? Thank you. Kumalo, thank you. Right, so the next person, Lester. So Lester, you're going to have to stand right in front here because, and you're going to have to look at everyone because you're getting a double clap because Lester Nico Sparks has received his qualification cum laude. Project title, Impact of Inefficient Processes on CRO/IT CDRM Operations. So Lester, please step forward. I want to say to the Sparks family, Getting a qualification is a huge feat, but getting a qualification cum laude is something next level. So well done to you, Lester, and to the Sparks family on this remarkable achievement. I did wonder to myself if you got it because of the fact that all these acronyms in your title, maybe it wouldn't be understood. But then I came to understand something quite interesting, and that was that you were actually in your study looking at technology and innovation, because with all those acronyms, you were actually really trying to ideate technology and technology processes within the bank. Gift is saying you're not looking at him, Lester. And so in terms of that, I think that for me, this therefore looked at celebrating synergized accomplishments, transdisciplinarity, which is really important, as I said, promoting experimentation and probing problems. Those are all key areas in the management of technology and the management of innovation. So I congratulate you on being a truly agile person within your bank and an agile leader. So congratulations. I know that we are slightly delayed, so for those of you that are online, I do understand if you have to leave, but we will celebrate with the students, so if you can stay, please do. We're running a couple of minutes over, so it is because we have beautiful graduates today. Kagiso, please step forward. Kagiso, why are you so shy? Oh, you shy? Okay, so shout, scream, I'm waiting. Kagiso Twale, project title, The Impact of Automation on the First National Bank Debt Review Inbound Call Centers Services. Congratulations. So before I speak to you, Kagiso, I'm going to say to the Twale family, we congratulate you on this remarkable achievement. And as Kagiso stands here, I hope you feel proud. The way that she was raised certainly added to how she got here today. It was her drive, her tenacity, but also the roots that are strongly within her. This project title, in terms of automation, you would think I'd speak to it as the management of technology, but in Kagiso's, I'm speaking about it more connected to the management of people and bringing about elements of the megatrends. So you're saying if the bank is not innovative in the way that it actually manages people, then they're not going to get some of these technologies right. So people think yours was a very technologically based one because it's about automation, but you were actually trying to have the people front of mind and saying that if we don't innovate on how we deal with the people dealing with the technology, we're not going to get this right. Thank you. Fist pump, very excited. See, I do get it, guys. So now when I tell her that she's an agile and engaged leader, you see, I got it right. Congratulations. Yay, Kagiso. Nolene, they say we save the best for last. So I want to say to Nolene, Crystal, Whitting, congratulations. Nolene's project title, no, you can't clap for her yet. Nolene's project title is The Perceived Importance of Training Needs Analysis at First National Bank's Fulfillment Department. Now you can clap for her. Congratulations. To the Whitting family, who are very proud in the corner there, Nolene, today you have reached a remarkable milestone. Robert Frost once says that two roads diverged as one, and I took the path less traveled, and that made all the difference. Each of you sitting here today, and you, Nolene, took the path less traveled, and it has got thorns, and it has... Oh, sorry, I don't know why you weren't now. I'm saying this is my last one on the list. Apologies. So it says that you have, thorns in your feet and all of those areas, but it means that you've traveled really, really the rough path to get to where you've gotten today. So connected to your study and the importance of training, I think it is really important that mentorship plays a critical role in any organization's management of people. And I was interested, and I emphasize the word perceived because your study was very clear that you were trying to show the gaps in the process, and that's why you used the word perceived. And I think that that is important to benchmark and call out practices that are already established and find the gaps to improve them. So a perception-based study is really critical when it comes to really trying to understand or probe a problem. So congratulations. So, Oh, you see, I called your name already. I'm so excited you're here. Okay, so I told you I knew Motlalepula was coming. Yay! See, and I even said, I practiced and I got it, and I said, Motlalepula, congratulations. So to Motlalepula Lukui, congratulations. Project title, The Impact of the Refund Process on Productivity and Customer Service. Congratulations. So I see people are calling you Pule. So, Pule, I'm saying to you today, for being an agile, aligned, and engaged leader, we congratulate you, because in terms of the processes that you looked at specifically, I said that you were both agile and engaged when I spoke earlier, but it's not to do with the technological part, but rather the operationalized ideation, which means the way in which you spoke to the fact that people want their money back, they want their refunds. So if we operationalize this really well, and we remember that there's people as part of the end user process, this will drive it to be engaged and agile. So congratulations to you, and it's wonderful you're here. So you got your name mentioned, so you'll have to watch the video to see when we also said well done to your family as well. But we are indeed grateful that you are here. Thank you to those that have joined us. You may be seated, and we congratulate all our graduates. So I would like to now serenade you with a recording of God Bless Africa as you sit back, relax, and know that you are all graduated. Before I give my closing, I would like to call Mark Fuller to formally close this ceremony as a lawful gathering of the Da Vinci Institute.
As a member of the Senate of the Da Vinci Institute, I hereby, sorry, I lost my place. Good thing it's being recorded, right?
So we will need to repeat it so that it is
Yes,
an official
that's right.
closing.
Which is why you need glasses all of the time, right? So as a member of the Da Vinci Senate, I hereby constitute, I can't read this.
Okay, so I'll have to get Dr. De Ploy-Cilliers, if you can close it,
Sorry.
as the chairperson of Senate. So you've now got the chairperson closing it.
As the chair of the Da Vinci Senate, I hereby dissolve this congregation for the Da Vinci Institute for Technology Management. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. De Ploy-Cilliers. So next time we'll make you wear your glasses, Mark Fuller.
So, yeah.
Yes. Right, so it has closed. So I told Sushi earlier that I always run a little bit late with the First National Bank group because I have so much fun in terms of graduating it. So apologies for those of you that are rushing off. But I would like to close off and do my closing with a video and then a few words before we sign off today. So if I could please play the video for those online and here to see.
Fail big. Today is the beginning of the rest of your life, so do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. Hard work works.
To Cindy, Raheem, Ronaldo, Zahir, Janine, Chanel, Motlalepula, Salmina, Kaveshni, Leonard, Tembi, Vanessa, Charlene, Agnes, Lydia, Lester, Kagiso, and Nolene. Your hard work has paid off, and now the journey truly begins. Because we challenge you that hat that you wear on your head, it actually weighs a lot, because it means that you have the responsibility and accountability to really influence the co-creation of societies that are not only humane but also sustainable. That means that you are, as agile, aligned, and engaged managerial leaders, responsible to society to mentor others, to grow others in a cooperative way that makes them feel not disenfranchised, but included, that makes them feel that whether they are working as a cleaning person in your organization or they are the CEO of an organization, that everybody's voice leads to the leadership of our country, of our continent, and of global economies. There is not one person that should be considered more important than another. And this is what true cooperative leadership is. It is being the last person to speak when you're addressing a room, not because you're not a competent leader, but because you care about the voices of everybody that sits in the room, and not just those that are decision makers. It means that instead of solving problems, you probe those problems because you want to get a deep and meaningful understanding. It is your responsibility that not only in the assessments that you've done now, but in every piece of work that you do, you don't only say, what is the return on investment for me and for my organization, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're working for an organization, but to say, what is the social responsibility? What is the social impact of what I'm doing? We don't want only to have economic enablers graduating from this business school. We want socio-economic enablers, people that uplift economically and understand that there's an impact on society. We have a complex culture. We have a rich and tragic history in many ways. We have a bright future with many obstacles and challenges, and that is why I showed you the video that I did, because it's important for you to continue to dream big, because it is you and every one of you sitting here that are the managerial leaders that will show the world what agility, alignment, and engagement looks like in an organization and looks like in a workspace. So today, I congratulate you and your families as you take your star in the galaxy of remarkability of the Da Vinci Institute. I ask the procession to stand and give you a round of applause, and this is so the time when they stand and they give you the round of applause. So if I could please ask the procession to stand to cheer, shout, and ululate Mark Fuller for to Cindy, Raheem, Ronaldo, Zahir, Janine, Chanel, Motalepula, Salmina, Kaveshni, Leonard, Tembi, Vanessa, Charlene, Agnes, Lydia, Lester, Kagiso, Nolene, and all the family names that you represent, both before and after marriage, for those that have changed their names. It is those mothers, fathers, guardians, grandparents, every single aspect that has made you and the fabric of who you are today. That is what gives you the technicolor coat of remarkability. So I congratulate each and every one of you and your families today. Please rise for the singing of the national anthem of the Republic of South Africa. Procession leaves, and those that have joined us online, I just wanted to add that we have decided we should show our own management of technology and innovation of being agile. So this year you will note that you will get a communication. You will be getting what is called a Privy Seal Unique Identity Number. It is a new way of showing up in terms of qualifications. It's a verified system, and it allows you to utilize your qualification in various ways. So you get your full certificate, which you can then print in different forms and sizes as you wish. And it also gives you the opportunity to include it in your signatures onto your LinkedIn profiles, which when clicked on will let prospective employees or people, if you're speaking at guest conferences, etc., know that this is a verified qualification. This digital ID number is like your ID number. It takes you through the rest of your life, and Vinci makes you a member for always with our qualification. So this means that you are connected to the Privy Seal and can utilize it continually wherever you are in the world. And if you want your mother to have a copy, and you, and on the wall, and in the bathroom, you are welcome to do so. And for those of you that have ever lost a certificate, you'll know how difficult it is to replace. With this verification system, it's as if somebody, so it's a fraud-based, it was done in order to combat fraud. So it is like your ID number, your South African ID number, or whatever country you are representing's ID number. This will be your qualification ID number, so it is verified. So we hope you enjoy when you receive all the fun things you can do with this. You will enjoy this new way of looking at your certificate. The academic procession will now leave, and after that we've got snacks outside for you, and we've also got a photographer there. So these are your formal photographs if you've selected to take them upstairs or here. Those are the formal ones. We do some fun informal ones outside, which we give to your program conveners complimentary from us and let you send them out. And if you do put them on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, please do tag us or hashtag us at Vinci Institute so we can share in the moment. I love in the evenings when I go onto it and then I comment on everyone's posts. It brings me great joy and excitement. So make my day. So I would like to say the academic procession will now leave, and then you will be followed, come out, follow afterwards. Thank you.